You stumble through the thick mists. You spot a corpse in the grass near the abandoned cart.
I like to take out these.
The wisp leads you to a small graveyard
Before going to the end, because otherwise you have to deal with them all at the end.
From down below.
It's just easier to get rid of them now.
The last of the wisps fades away. The forest is silent once more.
A remnant? There is a remnant.
From down the road, you hear the sound.
And we can ignore this dude.
The soldier looks up at you, his face strangely pale.
He'll unlock a shrine, but we don't really care.
You hear howling in the distance. A raven cries somewhere overhead. Why would someone put so many scarecrows to guard a road in the middle of the forest? What do these straw men keep away?
Okay, giving it a sleet storm.
Snap behind you.
Color spray got all the wolves.
The scarecrow clatters to the ground. As you recover, you realize you can hear noise from up the road to the east, the same way you came.
Okay, there we go. All done. Okay, now Death House.
What's the first thing I remember?
I already got
Mostly
my
Papa
weapon, so.
calling out my name. Irina! He'd shout whenever I wandered too far away from his side. When I was little, I thought he was just being silly. Now I know what he felt. He was afraid.
Okay, Death block.
Small, distant voices spring from nowhere.
We're so hungry. Find us. Mind the step. It squeaks. Here we are.
You spot something in the middle of the room. Something
Yeah,
small
the
and
bones.
old and forgotten.
We're tired. We've been here
The
so
claws are
long.
here, so I have
We
to deal
want
with
to
them.
rest. Take us to a nice place to rest. We're tired. We want to rest now. You found the secret door. It leads down to the basement, where the monster
Sometimes
is.
Beyond
they're
the secret door,
in a different
dusty
location.
stairwell leads down into darkness.
Okay, I'm gonna web these. And also use my Eve Arts. We can confuse the spiders, which is what that red dot is. So, trying to speed run this as fast as possible. Like, I'll do it the way that we do it on
You
hardcore.
gently place the bones inside the coffins.
Much better.
The distant voice seems pleased.
So I guess they're looking
Can
for
rest here.
players
Once
to
you get rid
join
of the
the
monster
new
in the basement.
player council, and some people have said, oh, you should do that, that would be good. But if you read what they want, I'm like not a good fit, because they say if you're the type of person who sees us post something on Lamagna, doesn't like it, and then makes a post about it online about how much you don't like it, then you're not going to be a good fit for the player council. So I kind of feel like they left out the fact that, yeah, Mary, it's not a good fit for you.
Key.
So there's no shill here, man. Like, I am completely not like associated with them at all. So anything that I say about the game is legit, my opinion, and I'm not gonna hold back if I think something is fucking stupid. You know, you guys hear it like it is what it is. You know, if I see something on Lamagna that's awful, I'm gonna tell you about it. I have experience in playing the game since closed beta in 2005. So, you know, like, I've seen a lot come and go in this game, and I've also played other games and seen other games go through shit that killed the games, like SWTOR, Star Wars Galaxies. You know, those games were really good, and now nobody plays them. So if I see something that I'm worried about or I think is stupid, then I'm obviously going to say. And, you know, everything is
The
just me.
monster's around here someplace.
Like,
You can smell him.
you know, I don't get any
He
help from
stinks.
anybody from SSG for anything. So you can rest assured that my opinion is my opinion. So I have no interest to join the player council, because I don't think that I would be an asset to them. If they propose something stupid, I would immediately say that's stupid. And they probably don't want that kind of feedback. They probably want sycophantic people who are just like, yeah, that's a great idea, let's really try that. Not me, bro. Something is dumb, I'm going to say it's dumb.
The chanting echoes from down the hallway.
I don't live in a fantasy land.
Robed apparitions surround the altar, chanting, "He is the ancient. He is the land." The ghostly chant suddenly changes. One must die. One must die. Lorgoth the Decay.
Alright, so this dude has a lot of hit points.
The robed figures
But
vanish,
we were able
and
to
something
change
stirs
shape
in
and
the
get all
water.
of the lights, so.
The creature collapses.
This
A
is
little
a
voice
really
in the
straightforward quest.
darkness
People
says,
run this quest all the time.
You got rid
Loot
of the
farming for the
monster.
ring, so I doubt I need to
Good.
focus a lot
Time to sleep. Oh,
on a build for or
good night.
player guide for Death House,
There's a
because
sudden
people
gust of
run
air,
it so often.
as if
It's,
the
you know.
entire building let loose a
Now I
sigh.
will talk about like what we do on hardcore for the next quest, because the next quest people die. So show you guys what I do in order to keep it reasonably safe. Nothing is super safe, but So the next one is Bone Grinder.
Voices, ragged and carping, come from
And
the other
we
side
need
of
Death
the window.
Ward because of the
Peasants with
Will-o'-the-wisps.
joyless faces and vacant eyes wait in a line. An indistinct murmur passes among them at the sight of an outsider. The rest of these peasants are unlikely to leave. They stare
Now,
at
I
the
like
old woman
to
who
go
get no response.
back here because there's nothing back here, so it's safe. You know, you get your wall, you get a wall behind you that you know that nothing's gonna pop up, and
A
then you
wolf
can just
howls in the
basically
distance.
focus
Its
content.
cry echoed
And
first
so
here, then there. The wind whispers treacherously
I
among
color
the upper
sprayed that
boughs.
wolf. And what I'm gonna do is put up a bunch of sleet storms. I don't have dancing ball yet, but I can run them into the sleet storm, and it will knock them down. It'll also help us if something, you know, aggro's on us. We can just run it through there. And I'm going to clear the shrine. I always like to clear the shrine. But I'm not going to clear it at the shrine. I'm basically going to chain them all the way back to the AoEs that I put up. So here, I'm in the Sleet Storm again. Just to cover myself. Looks like we confused that wolf there. Alright, and then I'm going to attack this wisp. And again, run them back to the AoEs that I put up. So over this way, I'm going to put up another Sleet Storm. So we're just basically going to try to keep... Alright, so there's a bunch of wolves. So I'm just going to go back into the Sleet Storm. We basically just want to have this as controlled as possible, you know, because there's a lot of mobs in here that pop up. So, another Sleet Storm. And I'm going to basically run back to my Sleet Storm. Remember, wolves can trip you, so you gotta be careful. Fighting them in, they'll be blinded. They have a chance of getting knocked down. But Sleet Storms are really good if you can use it. There's some more. I just got knocked down, but I'm in the Sleet Storm. So the monsters in the Sleet Storm will be blinded. Color sprayed it. Going to throw down yet another Sleet Storm right here because there's more wolves coming. Okay, we're just gonna keep going. Another one right here. And there's more wolves. Eventually we'll get a named werewolf that'll pop up, but you have to be really careful. That's what I'm saying. Like on hardcore these. Okay, so here's the names. Hardcore people die in this quest all the time, so this is the strategy that I usually use. Just take it really slow and use as much defensive magic as you can. Now, obviously, I have freedom of movement that allows me to stand in the Sleet Storm, but if you don't have that, you could use something else. Like, really, any CC works. You could do anything. Alright, so we gotta run up here and grab the altar. Hey, float on by. How you doing?
Those are not pebbles filling the urn.
Hope you're having a
between
good night,
leglets. They are human teeth.
We're doing heroic reapers, getting Ravenloft done. Somebody asked me for like help with it, and going to basically like talk about them as if I'm making a guide. So that's why I'm overly elaborating my decisions and stuff in chat. So I just color sprayed them. That's why they stopped like that. We have to be careful. So I'm, like I said, I basically just lure everything back to my CC zone and deal with it all in the little area that I have set up to deal with it. And I can color spray them in here. They're blinded in the sleet storm and they have a chance of being knocked out. Alright, so I'm going to set up another sleet storm here over here near the bridge. So we're looking for the sister now, and I see her right there. So just going to deal with the monsters between her and me. I also see the corpse, so we need both of those things. Alright, so there's the stuff that we need. So I'm going to throw another sleet storm right here, just in case I get ganked while I'm looking at this stuff. Alright, so that should cover.
So savagely has it been mangled by wolves.
Color spray these
The
things.
ghost story appears to be
The
true.
sunburst that just
If so,
procced was a
then the women of the
colors
land
the
are
queen
not
proc.
what they appear to be, nor are their eyes.
Alright, so we're good to go now. We've got everything. No need to fight that junk over there, so we're gonna avoid it. We actually aggroed it.
Morgantha addresses the gathered peasants from up on the wooden platform.
I was able to color spray everything.
She says,
You can see the range on color spray is quite far.
How many times must I
I'm
tell
gonna
you?
color spray the Plague Reaper.
Morgantha looks down at you.
You poor misguided soul. You thought that
Okay,
they did
here we
not
go.
know?
Another Sleet Storm.
Morgantha howls.
It's a chance to knock them all down.
And you'll feast
And
on
then
hearts
my
and pies tonight.
E-Bards will slap them around. And once we go in, we're going up all the way. We're not going to do the optional fight. We're just going to try to kill what's-her-name as quickly as possible.
That's the last.
Now,
of it.
people die in here all the time on
Playmakers
hardcore.
within
So
the
my
wind.
strat is
Mad cackling comes
throwing
from
up a
upstairs
Sleet Storm
as a
immediately.
Dutch
Let all that
close,
stuff
fully
just hang
formed
out in it.
out of the
I'm not worried
bubbling,
about it,
tiny
right? All I'm
contents
going to
of a
do is go
cauldron.
up as fast as I can, all the way. I'm going to color spray whatever's here, Sleet Storm it, E-Bards it, and now I start doing my chain. And like let the chain just find all the bad guys for me. And there's Morgantha. That's who we're after. So ignore everybody else. The Reaper died. We can kill this champion. Alright, we just have to find Morgantha. I'm gonna just jump heal myself. There's Morgantha right there. So as long as we get her first, we're okay. Throw a web on her, because we can web her. She's not a red name.
The hags are dead.
There we go.
Leaving behind them only the bitter taste of dreams.
So there
and
still
strife.
may be mobs down below alive. But yeah, here comes some of the dredges that we ignored when we first walked in. But I mean, at this point, it doesn't really matter, because we've got our shrine and all of the hags are dead. So now it's just basically, this is just cleanup. And it looks like the chain shape found all the others, so. This is exactly how I do it on hardcore, so.
All of this
It
whispers
might be a
below
little
and
bit
spreads across the
messy
floor,
looking,
and
but
then catches
it's
fire,
reasonably
filling
safe.
the windmill with billowing, choking smoke. It is time
You
to
know,
go.
hardcore is, there's no guarantees, right? But it's, I think that's the safest you can do that. And so if you were on a character that didn't have like Fleet Storm, what would you do? You want to use whatever CC you can use, you know. So if you were on an Artificer, you want to throw up one of those flame turrets. I think one of their electrical spells does a stun. And then you also have your you also, if you were on basically an Artificer or another type of a caster, you also can access color spray, which is a, you know, good CC. If you can do web is great. If you are a divine caster, soundburst and command are really good. And the castle, not everybody, but most people will cycle cards. So we'll cycle these cards just to see what we get. So we want Miser as the first card or something. So what I'm going to do is Google invitation to dinners to see what necromancer is. As long as it's not dragons, we're okay. It's always the first card that you look at. Okay, so what is it? Necromancer? Yeah, all right. So Necromancer is portrait. That's the top of the south tower. So we can do that. That's fine. Totally fine.
A friend. But will you know which is which when you find it?
So gotta hit myself with some death ward.
Swells
And then
of organ
it
music,
really helps if you
fraught
have a
with
character
defiance,
in your party who has
determination,
Dimension
and
Door.
despair. As you step
And
into
it's
the dining
basically
hall,
you talk to
the
Strahd
music
and pick
abruptly halts.
the thing,
A stern,
the text at the
regal
bottom,
turns
and
to
then
face
jump in
you.
the Dimension Door. So
Please,
the
come in,
step
my
is
honored
you cast your
guests.
Dimension Door,
I am, of course, Count
bottom,
Strapazarovich, your host.
bottom,
Strahd's laughter
and then
echoes across the
Dimension
hall,
Door. And
and
that's
his
it.
form
And it's done.
dissolves into mist.
And
The
then
door
on the
slams
way
shut.
through here,
It's
if
a
you
trap.
walk out into the middle here, you're going to spawn a bunch of gargoyles. So the way to avoid that, if you look at my red feet on the ground, I'm hugging the wall, basically. And that avoids the gargoyle spawn. They're not even there because we didn't spawn them. And everything in that room is locked in that room because we left it. So we don't have to worry about it. And so we want to go to the servants' quarters in the cellar. And I believe that that is the same place that you zone in for the next quest. So I'm going to go down to the cellar. Just right here, the larder. Easier to go down first. And I believe where they're talking is up these stairs. This is where you would zone in. Raven at the door, like you zone in right here. So I believe that this is the upper servants' quarters. She should be hiding out right there. Yeah, she is. All right, so we talked to her. She's going to tell us
You
about the
have found
keystone.
an ally within Ravenloft. If Esmeralda had not told you of the ward barriers around the castle and the keystone needed to escape,
So now we need to go to the second floor. To the chapel. And this quest is huge. You could spend an entire evening in this quest. It's just all sorts of side rooms and back alleys and secret doors. I recommend exploring this castle if you have not done it. It's really cool. Okay, here we go. And we're going to talk to Leap
Dusty
Siege
scrolls
here
and
and try to
tomes
get
line
the
walls,
intelligence
and a great
option to
desk
come up.
dominates the room.
About this chest
Sitting
here.
there
Locked, is there a
is an
key?
elderly man
Intelligence.
scratching away with
Thanks,
quill
I
and
will.
paper.
And we get the
He
key, and then we
ignores
can
you,
unlock the chest. If
completely
you have
absorbed in his work.
a high enough
With
intelligence.
a
My
little
intelligence
arm
is
twisting,
27. So
Lip Siege relinquishes the key to his chest. With a shrug, he begins to dutifully deduct the contents from Strahd's accounts.
okay, and here it's going to explode in a bunch of undead. So we're going to basically web and then hit it with our Evarts. And then let the chain shape find everything. Really got to stay away from that ghoul champion. The ghouls hit really hard anyway. Okay, and we could just jump down, but I'm just gonna kill these dudes just for giggles. Alright, so we need to go down. There's the secret hiding place right there that we're looking for.
Evil radiates
And we're
from
gonna
this
get a bunch of
skeletal
spawn.
corpse as it rises to challenge you.
This dude
Its
puts
eyes
out
gleam
circles,
with
so we
malice
have to be
and
careful.
dark
We have to
prayers
watch
evil gods whisper
the
from its
ground that we're
form.
standing on. He also does
With a
Chaos
shriek of
Hammer,
rage,
but we're
the
neutral, so
lingering
it doesn't really
spirit of
hurt
this
us.
evil priest is banished from this
Alright,
realm.
so we
You
grab
have
the
found
keystone. You can
but the
shrine
icon
here,
of Ravenloft
which
awaits
we will.
discovery somewhere within the castle.
We need to find the icon of Ravenloft, which is on the 3rd floor. And so what we're going to do is Dimension Door. Now you can just run back up, but we're just going to Dimension Door. And remember, we did not pop the gargoyles, so we have to be careful that we don't. So we have to still hug the wall. Okay. Now we're going to the 3rd floor. Okay, 3rd floor is right here. Okay, so I hit them all with an Evarts, which will basically CC them. I'm good to continue. And so this is the study. There's the icon. We're going to get attacked
There is the
right now
icon of Ravenloft
by a bunch of stuff.
in the light. As you
So
draw
the
near,
Shadow of Hate
something moves
hits
around
really
the
hard,
fireplace.
so you want to stay away from it.
This treasure is not unguarded.
I'm going to try to CC with my color spray to see if it will CC him. get myself healed a little. It hits really hard. I don't want to take a chance. Alright, so here we go. Color spray. Color spray blinded it, but it did not stop it. But web stopped it. Eve Arts will probably do the same thing as web. I'm going to throw another web on it just because. Okay, broke out of the first web, got stuck in the second web. But it's gone. Yeah, that I've seen people die to that on hardcore, so gotta be careful. Okay, so there's the icon. Now we go to the top of the South Tower.
As you hold the icon of Ravenloft in your hands and stow it securely in your pack. With both the icon and the keystone in hand, it is time to leave. According to Esmeralda, the only way out is through the top of the South Tower.
Okay, there's a bunch of mobs on the stairs here. Gonna let the chain shape find it all. Okay, we can continue on our way up. And we have to deal with a bunch of stuff up here. So we're going to throw out sleet storms. We have to fight Strahd as a painting.
The portrait of Strahd.
So, and we can't go right into there. The floor drops.
In fact, as
so
you stare at it,
we're gonna fight
this
Strahd
image
right
begins to
here
move.
from inside the protection of our sleet storm. And he will probably change his location. Here come a bunch of shadows. One of the reasons that I put up the sleet storm. Just gonna basically jump cast to avoid getting hit by them. The chain shape will find them. Okay, so he moved. He's behind me now. Oh, I'm still hitting him. He's a little bit too far away, so I'm going to basically focus these shadows. Okay, now I can go get him again. So you see the floor dropped, right? If you were standing there, you'd be down on the next level. Alright, so we have to deal with all of these shadows, these souls. They're basically ghosts, and there's a Reaper. So I'm gonna color spray the Reaper. Color spray didn't hit the Reaper, like, with a freeze, but it blinded it. Taking a lot of damage from it, though. Okay, so it's dead. The ghosts are dead, so we can then go back to the boss. And the boss is really close. So. And he warped. We have to be careful of the hole in the ground. Okay, now he's gone, and now I can heal.
Forever from the scene. The doors to the east and west swing open, offering two new avenues of exploration.
Okay, and that's it. That's the entire quest. Done as fast as possible. You can certainly explore this castle. It's really cool. I recommend exploring it if you never have. But we're just gonna get the F out. It's gonna be a big XP hit, so.
With the keystone in hand, you step through the castle walls.
Okay, and because we're going back
check
to
your
the bar,
bags.
we can just use our
Sure enough,
pin.
the icon of Ravenloft is still there. You have done it. With a sigh of relief, you wonder if you will cross paths with Esmeralda again.
Okay, there's that, and there's that. Gonna sell and repair. Off to the blue water. All right, we're ready to start. I'll go over my gear for a second. So my armor is the leaf mail. I'm wearing the green dragon scale bracers. My belt is crafted with con, insightful con, and insightful spell resistance with a wizardry topaz in it. My gloves are the gloves of tranquility, which give me blurry, regenerate, and some magic resist. They're part of the 7-piece Feywild set, and I have a strength diamond in it. My boots are the Flightfoot greaves that give me freedom of movement and a bunch of other nice stuff, and I have a striding topaz slotted into that. My goggles are still the amethyst loop from the salt marsh, and I have them slotted with a clear water diamond. My ring is Mary's ring. Spell resistance, sheltering, insightful spell saves with a topaz of fear immunity. The other side, because I'm doing Utter Dark Blast, which basically lets me do alignment damage, I'm wearing the Ring of Summer Heat for the Radiance, because Radiance is alignment damage. So that boosts my damage, and I have that slotted with a topaz of water breathing. My cloak is a Cloak of Winter with a Sapphire of Dodge in it. My helmet is the Crown of Snow that I have a Feather Falling topaz in it. My necklace is the Reflective Bloodstone from Ravenloft that gives me illusion DC bonuses for my color spray. And I have that with a diamond of charisma +5. And so my stats now, I have a 40 charisma. I'm level 11. My spell resist is 34, which is really good. And all my saves are in the 20s. My armor class is 41, which is pretty good. My con is 30, which is sort of low, but whatever. And so we can take the next Bewitching Blast, and then we'll also take this one and Scroll Mastery, since I'm scroll healing myself with heal scrolls. Going to order a new headset because my other gaming headset was not good. So I'm using these little ear pods for now, but going to get a legit gaming headset. Okay, Argan's Vault is next.
The mansion looks abandoned. Yet according to what you've been told,
So
the
G-Door
Order
really
of the
helped
Silver
for this
Dragon
one.
still guards this place, bound by an oath that not even death can break.
I'm gonna color spray these bats. I missed most of them, but I got one of the champs. Web. Not even sure if I can web them. There's my Evarts. Alright, we pull this lever, and then we G-Door. But you can run back. It would all lead you to the same place. Now we go down. And I'm gonna Evarts these dudes. which the Evarts gets them. The web doesn't get them, but the Evarts does. Alright, go around this gear to the back. And there's going to be a bunch of wraiths that spawn. Alright, the lever's pulled, so we're just going to basically fight these in the hallway here. Technically, we could just leave, but we're going to get rid of them so they don't follow us. All dead. Alright, there's my Evarts right at the door to catch all these things. They're ghostly, I guess, so they walk right through it, but I mean, the Evarts does like a slap, so it will do a little bit more DPS. And then that little red circle over the thing's head there, that's part of my Bewitching Blast. It means it's confused. Confused monsters will like stand there and not do anything. Sometimes they'll attack their buddies. Sometimes they'll attack you. It just all depends. So I tried to color spray. Yeah, see, I confused the Reaper and he's beating up one of the ghosts. He completely ignored my color spray just then. It's kind of scary. I have my DC up pretty much as high as I can get it. Alright, so here we detour. Apparently detour heals you. I didn't realize that. Now we're going into this room here. It helps if you can find secret doors for this.
Slumped in the throne is a gaunt,
We're gonna talk
armored
to him.
figure. Without looking up, it says simply,
And then we're going
Go
to run
the
out
Revenant shakes his head.
and
Argenvost's light has vanished. His beacon will never shine
fight
again.
them all out here.
All that is left is Strahd's endless punishment. If we destroy anyone,
DDO stream is raiding me with a party of 10. Nice. What's happening? Thanks for the raid.
The Revenant falls, once again nothing more than a lifeless corpse.
Hope everybody's
On the commander's
well.
body, you find a large silver key. Engraved on the key is the name Argenvost.
Okay, that's that. Nice. Thank you for the raid. I appreciate it. How's everybody doing? Good evening. Playing some Heroic Reapers on Sarlona. Hope you guys had a good evening
Tucked
prior.
behind the mansion is a fog-shrouded cemetery. An impressive
Hope you had a
mausoleum
good stream.
stands in one corner.
We're gonna try to color spray this Famine Reaper. Yeah, I got the Famine Reaper. And just let the chain shape kill everything while we keep the Famine Reaper as our focus. With any luck, we'll get a good confuse from our Bewitching Blast. Okay, there we go. This is just one, so.
Carved
Good
in
to
the
go.
marble above the outer gate is the name Argenvost. You use the silver key you found on the commander,
Okay.
and the outer gate to Argenvost's mausoleum opens. You place
Avoid the
Argynvost's
beam,
skull
obviously.
inside the mausoleum,
This
and
is
a brilliant
hardcore,
light
right?
fills the room. Now, if there were only some way to direct the light to the beacon
I
atop
mean,
the
I'm not going to
mansion.
show you, but it's unhealthy to run through the beam. Probably already knew that, but there are more dignified ways to die on hardcore than running through a laser beam. Alright, Famine Reaper. Color Spray. Color Spray blinded him, but it didn't stop him, so we're going to hit him with a Dark Delirium, which stopped him for literally a second. I'm going to try to Color Spray him again. There we go. That worked. He's dead.
The sound of flapping wings comes from just beyond the closed door. Your eye is drawn to the impressive beacon that dominates the courtyard.
The Harpy
Suddenly,
song will make it so
taloned
you can't
creatures fly
attack.
out
You
from
can
behind
technically
it,
do the
swooping
puzzle
down
and
on their
ignore
prey.
the monsters, but might as well since we're here. Alright, so they just hit me with their song, so I can't do anything. That's a timeout. Okay. And this boss can be annoying. She hits pretty hard. So we're just gonna stay away from her and heal up. Switch to single target. So like I said, you don't need to even kill this thing. You can just do the puzzle and leave. But since it's just us, kill her. She does quite a bit of damage, you can see. Like, she's eating through my hit points really quickly. Oh, that was a good heal. Okay, so puzzle. Just don't want any of the traps to get hit. Not quite even sure what would happen. I think it's just force damage, but I'm not gonna take a chance. Since it's just me, although there is a shrine right here. Oh, that was a nice bit of lag. I think this is it. No, I have it spun the wrong way. It has to go this way, right? Yes.
The beacon flashes with a brilliant light that can be seen throughout the valley, and from somewhere a voice whispers,
Tavern Tales.
I release the order.
Hope you're doing
its
well.
vows. You feel a tingle of warmth that you have never
That was your
felt in
raid, I
Barovia
appreciate it.
before.
Alright, so that's Argon's Vault. The next one is Raven at the Door. Really simple. Somebody asked me for help with doing the Ravenloft quest, so I'm basically explaining how I do them all on hardcore. Although I usually don't solo on hardcore though, so.
You have returned to Castle Ravenloft, this time uninvited. As promised, the servant's door was not
Okay,
sealed.
we just need to basically
A sign
start
that
the
Yester
quest.
the Raven made it this far.
Up
at
in the
least.
servants' quarter. We'll find the little secret notes. And then we can Alright, so
Jesper's
we've got
last
that.
report says he went off to steal a
Now we
potion
have to
from
go
a
to the
coven
top of the
witches
South Tower.
His lair is at the top of the South Tower.
Death Ward. And I still have a little bit of the House P buffs. We'll refresh them after this quest. So we're going all the way up.
Tower stair. Following it all the way to the top should get you close to the lair of the old crones mentioned in Jesper's journal.
I gotta put my chain shape back on, I forgot. There we go. Alright. All the way up the top. You gotta be careful that you don't fall down to the middle because that'll pop a bunch of ghosts. Not that they're super tough, but it's just more junk that you have to deal with. But now that we're back in Castle Ravenloft, if you haven't explored it, I highly recommend it. There's just rooms everywhere. It's huge. There's secret rooms and there's people hanging out doing weird stuff. Not a bad place to spend an entire evening exploring. Alright, since he fell, we're just gonna ignore him. Going all the way up. Get a bunch of spawn here that we're going to hit with our Evarts. Great thing about Evarts, not only is it a CC like web, right? It will stick them. But it also, because they're tentacles, it does a slap. So they take bludgeon damage from it. Not a lot, but it helps, right? Every bit helps, especially if you're doing what I'm doing, just running around by yourself.
As you come to the door of the witch's den, you recall the password
here,
from Jesper's
if
journal.
one of these is a champ, you have to be really careful because these mobs have like a fortification bypass. They can hit you really hard. So we're just gonna do our best to run them into the tentacles and stay away. We could also web them, but looks like it's almost dead. So, I would like to take one of these black cats with me, but they don't let me. Here, we don't go near these, right? Because that'll spawn vampires. Just hug the wall. Right? If you see my red feet, just run that path and you're fine. You just have to remember on your way out to run the same way, so you don't pop the vampires on. Not that the vampires are that tough or anything, but
gestures for you to speak with her.
All right, so there's a sleet storm which I can do because I have freedom of movement on my boots. Also gonna probably pop a web.
The old witches cackle, then one of them sneers at you.
Probably pop another sleet storm just so it doesn't expire on me. And then once these guys are actually popped, I'm gonna hit them with an Evarts to help with my DPS.
Face twisting into a gap-toothed grin, the witch continues.
Okay, so there's the Evarts. And I'm just gonna let the chain shape attack the daughter. I'm just gonna focus on the boss. Same thing with the methods. Just gonna focus on the boss. Let the chain shape hit the rest of them. I mean, I could color spray them, but I just don't want to stop my DPS.
The nearby cauldron begins to give off tremendous heat.
Not even gonna stop to heal. I'm just gonna focus her. Okay, so now I can heal.
Abates. These vile crones have uttered their last curses. It is time to search their lair. You find a set of vials, which.
And again, I'm sorry for being overly simplistic in what I'm doing, explaining it, but somebody asked me to sort of help them They don't really know this content that well. So we got the chest. It's just junk loot. We pick up the witch's bag. This key is for an optional chest in the basement. We're not going there. We have to be careful not to, right, go near those because that'll pop vampires. So we just run out the way we came in. If you're on hardcore and you're in a pug, very likely that somebody will pop those vampires. So something to be aware of. Like I said, they're not that tough. But if you're not ready for them, I've seen people die to them. So. All right, so now we go to the 3rd floor. And in this room where the smashed wedding cake is, there's an invisible monster who's very tough and hits really hard, so you don't want to linger. And if you're on hardcore and there's like a long train of people in your group, probably the people in the back will get hit by that thing. So if you had all cared about them, you'd probably just want to make sure that everybody made it through, because that thing can hit really hard. Okay, Evarts is going down. Even though we can't CC them, it will help us with our DPS, right? And you can use this shrine if you want.
You quaff the witch's brew, and you watch as your body
So for
evaporates
this,
into a
we're going to
fine
do a
mist.
trick.
By strength of will alone, you push yourself through the tiny tower window.
Not a super trick,
and take solid form again on the inside.
but something that's going to help us, which is these potions. So these mobs, they're golems, are going to throw out cloud kills. Can't stand in a cloud kill because it'll kill you, right? So you can gain temporary immunity by using poison neutralize. They last for 20 seconds, so we're going to have to pay attention to our bar, but it will allow us to stand in the cloud kill without worrying about dying.
The tower seems to be bigger on the inside somehow.
That's the plan.
It is filled with treasure.
And they can't, if you do fire damage on these dudes,
it does not lack for guards.
It will heal them. So here's my first poison neutralize, right? And there's the cloud kill. It's okay because the concealment, they suffer from the concealment too, right? And I've got 7, 6, 5, 4, so I'm gonna drink another one soon. All right, so here's my next potion. So now I'm up to 20 seconds again. I don't care about the cloud kill. I'm just gonna focus on their damage. Probably gonna stop and heal myself just because of the acid dot. Put another poison potion on me. Alright, so now we're ready to actually start fighting this dude again. Still have 10 seconds of my poison immunity. Alright, there you go. That's done. Easy peasy.
This book's pages are brittle with age, and much of it is illegible. But what you can make out suggests the
You're a
author is
warforged, you
none
don't need
other
to
than
worry about
Strahd
that.
himself.
Because they're
Perhaps
immune.
your allies back in
They're immune to
town
poison,
can make sense
so
of it.
they won't take the damage from the cloud kill. I mean, you may take something, like you get the concealment. I don't know if you get ability damage. I don't think so. Even though it's magical poison, I don't know. I have to try it. But it's always good to have neutralized poison potions on you, right? So we are going to go refresh our house P buffs before we do this next quest. The next quest is Mad Tea Party. One of my favorite quests in the game. Love this quest because it's so batshit weird. But it also has the potential to be like one of the most deadly of all these quests, right? So, oh, you know what? I didn't even realize we leveled up. There's nothing wrong with us taking level 12, so that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna do a little bit of a pause. Actually, will help us out. Refresh my ship buffs, and then I'll just go to the harbor. No, actually, you know what? I'll go to the market. Go to the regular market. There's a trainer right here. So 12 is a big level for us because we get to switch our build around. We were blasting. Now we're going to be bursting. So we're maxing charisma. Still maxing UMD, spellcraft, and perform. And bluff. And then the extra points are going into search. And then at this level, we are taking greater spell focus enchant because we're an enchanting build, right? That's my build is an enchanter. So even though we're not enchanting anything now, we will be later. Saving these 2 Reaper points for when I can hit these 2. And then we definitely want this because that's Death Ward. And since we're scroll healing, we'll hit another. So now that's 50% more on our scrolls. We're going to reset all of this anyway. Because we're going to go into, we're dropping Fade Arc. And we're going into Enlightened Spirit. Actually. Alright, so we've got our Magic Missile immunity, Fear immunity. We were getting these things from Fade Arc Illusionist, but now we're not getting them there. And then here's one of our bursts. We're just basically adding points to get us up. Need one more. Probably that would help. Okay, so this is my light damage right there. All right, there's our other burst. And then this is the biggest thing we want shining through right there. All right, so now we grab all this other junk. There's our Utter Dark Blast. That's our web. So we're going to lose Staunch, but it doesn't matter because we have Shining Through. Okay, we need 2 points in Fade Arc. Alright, since we're, like I said, we're Wand and Scroll Healing, so we'll do that. Alright, so now we have to set up our new bar. That looks great. So we only use I only for my build, only use the passive for Aura of Menace. I don't actually ever turn Aura of Menace on because all it does is grab aggro. We don't want aggro, right? We're in light armor, we're an enchanter, right? So we want to basically CC without being noticed. So I don't use the active portion of that. I take the passive, which is good. The Eldritch Aura ticks every 3 seconds, and we get proficiency with all martial weapons. Those are great passives, but you know, we don't need a 15-meter aura that is decreasing their saving throws, attacks, and armor class by 2 because 2 is such a low amount. Unless you're doing like casual or something, like it's just stupid. So we're not even gonna bother. Okay, so I lost that. That goes there. Okay, so here's our Eldritch Burst. There's our Spirit Blast. There's our Shining Through. Here is, so for now, because we're not going to keep this forever, but that's our resists. I'll actually put that right there. And then I need my aura. There's that. Okay, that's great. All right, so now what I want to do is make sure that I turn on all of my meta magics. Okay, that looks good. We don't meta magic that because it's a quick cast anyway, but we do meta magic that, and then you can't meta magic this. So with Shining Through and my temporary hit points, I can get up to 640, which is decent. Like that's pretty decent. And so since we're here, we're gonna grab some more wands. Actually, you know what I'll do? I'll just grab more heal scrolls since they are better. Make sure that we don't run out of heal scrolls. We'll go through them. You know, in Reaper, you go through these things really fast. So I have 30 greater restores, and I have over 200 heal scrolls now. It's fun. Let's grab a couple more. With these, so we'll grab like 20 more of these. All right. All right, that all looks good. I have hirelings, like I have Teal and I have Cleric that I could use, but